Here to present things on sc2. At page 121, we see where Bembe says, Mr. Harvester is almost right. The school kids who made the Samaritan up at the problem. We see there the scheme of technology. We see after Bembe speaks, we see there is abuse of office where Basdale says that I think the problem is that some of us have skeletons in their clothes. We see down there where Saima says that yes, and there is no other way of escape other than getting money to fight our way out. That is the only medicine. The alternative is Baneta Express. We see selfishness and corruption.
There is awareness or more of enlightenment, because data indicates now citizens are aware and they are demanding for the leaders to account for what they do.
On page 122, you see there where Jaden says that, gentlemen, the public is up in arms and the people are keen on holding every one of us as leaders to account. The judiciary and Minister for Local Government are very concerned about what is happening here. They have put a spotlight on us. We see team of conflict. 3. Where Jaden is wearing his glasses and peering pensively above the rim. I am looking at it in an entirely different way. The idea is not to make conviction. The idea is to initiate prosecution in order to prevent any legal moves against us from other quarters. I believe you understand the principle of double jeopardy. You see abuse of office.
And the impunity and the scapegoat.
Where justice considering good governance. And you say, I also got information that Chief Justice is contemplating taking action on legal issues as a meeting of the Samaritan.
On the same page 123, down there where Jaden says, the idea is to identify the crimes we will be accused of, then get people, friendly people, and pay them to lodge cases against us. From there, we will have several options. We can determine the cases in our favor, or buy time endless adjournment. There you see bribery and corruption. I being prosecuted, I'm jittery about it. You see theme of fear. Page 124, where Jaden speaks the third time. Again, you can have someone lodge a case and argue the app is infringing on the right to privacy. You appreciate essentially that the Samaritan is really intrusive. It is divulging information about people's private lives in the domain. It is encouraging undue frauding into the people in contravention of the law. You see theme of technology. Page 124 to 125, where Jaden says it is a tenable argument, though, and besides by the time an appeal is filed and determined, we will figure out something else. You see role of media. From page 125 to 126, where Ramdai says, I share your fears. The number of people supporting her speaks volumes. The whole town was at a standstill that That day, she was in court. I have never seen anything like that before.
But now there is greed and corruption. I think you can see that. All of us want power. I think the teacher wants power too. So it is showing the net of leaders. They think everyone is after leadership. Then again on page 126 there is corruption. But there was communication there on the aspect of influence in leading power. So we can enter, I hope we win the
where we see vivid description where they say large family with a large table in the middle and the figures on page 120. And then on the same page we have a proverb down there. It's where they didn't say never hit a snake if you haven't seen its head. Page. Then on page 1, we see an idiom where Basdeo says, I think the problem is that some of us have skeleton in their closets. So skeleton is a closet, is an idiom. And then we have an ellipsis where they say some of the skeletons are of the conversation of Basdeo. And then on page 120,
There where Moses asked a question, what is that supposed to be? Is it a At page 121, where Moses asks a question, what is that supposed to be? Is that
Yes. Page 122, we have an idiom on that conversation of reading where they say the public is up. An idiom where they say they have put a spotlight on us. Still on page 122. It's another idiom which still in conversation of Jaden, the second one. It says a lot of beans have been spilled. 122, we have a saying, you live in a glass house and you are still insisting on throwing stones. It's a saying. 123, we didn't capture anything. If anyone has something.
where we agree stopping prosecution on any one of us if the condition for this doesn't be asked and where Simo continues this conversation from page 122 to 123, he says that didn't we agree stopping prosecution on any one of us in the condition of this cause? Is that a question? Yes.
And also we have an feeding with this goatee. Page 124, we have an idiom, still gives me the wings. Bembe says. Idiom.
even being in the same boat.
Onomatopoeia, where Bembe says, scratching his head. 125. The conversation of Ted, we have a humor. She's a tough woman, but very beautiful. You should look at her legs. She's a tough woman, but very beautiful. You should look at her legs. That's a humor. I have a rhetorical question which says, assuming we talk to her and she turns out to be agreeable, how will she help? That's a rhetorical question. Then on conversation of Ramdai, we have an idiom which says supporting her speaks volume.
say one statement as well in another way. I wish we could somehow. Yes? What style is that? Sarcasm, yeah.
I'm fine. I'm going to take you through character and characterization. So we start with JJ. We see that he is intelligent when he says on page 120, when he says that being settled, the next step is to agree on the exact problem we are facing and seeking to solve. Otherwise, and as they say, never hit a snake if you haven't seen it. On page 121, you see that Moses is cautious when he says, I will never buy the idea of getting that land from the municipal office.
I think I can take you back to one day then, when he says the aim is to save our skin from the Samaritan. Hoping that you know what the Samaritan is and knowing that the hour are very few. What character will we give him? Selfish and impudent. Sigma on 121, do you have something about him? Your refusal to allow the allocation of budget or submission of supplementary estimate. It takes only either these small steps to solve the problem before us. So what do you see there? Corrupt and selfish at the same time. Then Saimwa, when Basdeo is speaking, before he finishes the statement, that is why we have ellipses, Saimwa interrupts and he's shouting, there is no time for the crap here, stop it or you will never know what it is.
Temperamental.
Again, Saimwa below, he says yes, and there's no other way to escape other than getting money to fight our way out. That is the only medicine, the alternative to Baneta Express. Selfish and corrupt.
On page 158, we have theme of education. Theme of education. On the street directional, we see that Wednesday lunch hour at Sagada Secondary School is the principal's board meeting. Page 129, on Narin's talk, first she says that all of them, including that inspector of police who took you to the cells, did you ever care to know what battles I'm fighting to ensure your safety and defend the school's position? You have selfishness. Yes, selfishness. You also have colonialism on page 129, on the last part of Naren. I told you not to think of something, you need to think. The app will not change anything. The struggle for good governance stretches as far back as the beginning of human history. Colonialism. On the same, page 130, because it continues from 129 to 130, we have hopelessness. And after all those years, the management of public affairs is much worse today than it has ever been. Hopelessness. On the same, we have bad governance. Today we have been enslaved by our own very own. Today we have been enslaved by our very own people. Bad governance. We also have hopelessness, where Naren said, don't give me a headache, young girl. They are all coming. You will discuss with them what you prefer. Personally, what I know is that I have a duty to the students under my charge. And if you don't think of a way out of this, I will have no choice but to personally grab you by your pants and pound you out of my vicinity through the nearest available opening. Hopelessness.
This type of hopelessness to that. I think that's why the option she's given is more of a physical violence.
Page 131, we have escapism. Then Arlene says, Your Worship, Honorable Gentlemen, as you requested, I have arranged for your meeting with Teacher Nicole. I had planned to attend to crucial school matters today. I will not, therefore, be able to sit with you. I do hope, however, that you will have a conclusive meeting so that you can avoid future meetings that disturb the smooth running of the school. Thank you. Escapism.
She's just avoiding being present before the leaders because of her fears. It's not actually like she has anything serious, considering what she has said to Nicole before.
Then, on the same page where Bembe says, Before your lordship, can you go any further? I would like to apologize to Nicole for the misunderstanding that led to her arrest and arraignment in court. I have thought through the whole incident and I have realized the mistake was mine. I'm very sorry. We have deception and hypocrisy. Then on page 132, where Moses says, My apologies to Nicole. Sometimes I tread on people's toes in the course of duty, but it's never personal. We have hypocrisy.
Violence also.
Dale says, if I put it differently, Nicole, in the wake of the Samaritan, it has become clear that you must introduce fundamental changes in the way our municipality is administered. We recognize that truth and serious mistakes have been made in leadership and matters have now come to a head. We have hypocrisy and deceit. On page 133, we have change and optimism, where Nicole says, Actually, I'm willing to play a prominent role. I owe Maracas municipality and our country as a whole a civic duty. I'm ready to work with patriotic citizens to enhance transparency and accountability in the management of public affairs. Change and optimism.
How would we see change here? What change? What has changed? And who is optimistic here? Right? What is he optimistic about?
He wants to bring change through working with patriotic citizens.
But he has said, he's just saying that she is ready to work. Now there's going to be positive change. So optimism should come when you have shown that hope. And change should come when we see that change. And I don't think here we have any change yet. Until maybe she decides now to be that Nicole who will accept to work together with this kind of leaders.
Madam, I have a question.
Yeah.
What about where Moses says, Thank you very much. Welcome your offer to work with us. We want change in which public resource will no longer be stolen.
You know, they know what she wants. They actually know that Nicole is fighting for a transparent and accountable system. Just as she has said above, that she would wish there is transparency and accountability. And when she's saying her statement, remember here you can see irony, because Mosi thinks that now Nicole has accepted. But all of us as leaders we know, Nicole has not. Because Nicole rejected that position. So when she was saying here, she was only trying to mock indirectly that these people should know if she works, then she would work in a situation where transparency and accountability is focused on.
Then page 134, moving forward, we must now craft the change we need in the leadership of our municipality. Perhaps I can be a co-mayor, very close but entirely equal to the mayor. Almost there, though. Now what we need to know is the senior position we would like to occupy. Grid for power.
And also the seat, because we actually know what they can easily, and we know why they can. So they are not here to craft any change in leadership.
Class, I have a question. If I say corruption, where Jalen says, let us put this way instead. The Local Government Act allows a municipality to take all such steps as may be necessary for improving the discharge of its function. In furtherance of this provision, we are allowed to enter into contracts that the municipal council considers necessary for the efficient discharge of its function. I propose that we give Nicole a contract of running the municipality, maybe as a director general. Is it correct? Corruption.
Who is responding? Because you have been asked for the class. Is it correct? Because it's only us who know that it's corruption. But at that moment, do those leaders consider that as corruption? Maybe for us, if you are asked now to interpret from the knowledge of other parts of the text, how do you consider this? Now that is when we say it's corruption, because automatically we know they have discussed that they buy him, isn't it? Yes. But if you only have an excerpt set, you cannot pick this part alone as corruption. But if they tell you referring from elsewhere now explained, of course it will be right to pick corruption, because we know they are giving her an office as a way to buy her. But from what David is saying, they are pretending. Of course, we can see deceit here and the hypocrisy, because they are pretending that they are just doing it to enhance functions of the municipality.
So on page 135, we did not find anything. Then on page 136, we have hopelessness and despair, where Nicole says, this is not a sermon, it is merely a statement of the basic principles on which stable societies are founded. Unless we resist the spirit of the beast, then there is no hope for this municipality. The prevailing spirit, the spirit of the beast, will only lead to destruction, and this is evident from the state of our municipality even as we speak. Then we also have religion, where she says, there is hope. Honorable Basdeo, our municipality resembles the valley of dry bones that you read about in the good book. It will be restored to life. The bones will stand again and have life, but only when we abandon our wayward ways and turn to our Creator.
And what about when Basdeo says, Nicole, in fact, you can honestly have been the hallmark of the whole political career. But I can assure you, there is no hope for our municipality. What is that? But for below we have hope from Nicole and religion.
Yes. On page 137, where Montano says, they are coming this way, mistress. Let's give up on the Samaritan Act so that they don't arrest you. We have theme of fear. Theme of fear on page 137, where Montano says, "They are coming this way, mistress. Let's give up on the Samaritan app so that they don't arrest you." Then on page 138, we have justice. On the stage direction, in what Tajo said, a commotion ensues as other police officers walk in. "My apologies, gentlemen. I am under instruction to escort all of you to the headquarters of the Anti-Corruption Investigation Bureau for clarification on a variety of issues." We have justice.
Yeah. And because it's a book that will have excerpts, you can consider to know deeply what the superintendent did at that moment, what the mayor did, and what when they did, where they had to, what reaction. Because if they lived an excerpt at the end, they might end somewhere Tajo, and then they'll ask you what happened after that excerpt, and the answers will fall on that the italic word in the brackets. So I hope tomorrow. Is it? We have another lesson. But
I'm literally about it.
so you say he is
Careful,
fearful.
insensitive. Well, he says, how do you initiate the prosecution?
Maybe if you want to give that aspect, you also refer to before when he was talking to Jaden on page 151, he was also asking questions. So you refer to the various parts and say he's using questions most of the time when he's speaking, so that makes him immediately.
When he says, I'm not sure this is not a trap you are setting for us. I don't think I will buy that idea.
You can also call him suspicious because he thinks possibly Jaden is laying a trap for them. What about up there when Jaden says, they knew that? Yes? Pessimistic, yes.
When he says, you see, gentlemen, the way out for us is not money, it's power. All of us want power. I think that the teacher wants power too. Why can't we give her some powerful position in the school council?
He is also what? Because all of us want power. I think that teacher wants power. He's also greedy because he reads that he is after power.
Unreasonable or irrelevant things. When he says, she's a tough woman but very beautiful. You should look at her legs.
So you think he's
Unreasonable.
reasonable in such a meeting talking about beauty? Did you want to start a job? Maybe because we picked humor there we may pick that. But I'm also finding the lastful. Someone is lasting, you know, focusing more on a part of the body. I told you long ago it's being lastful. Then we also learn about Nicola's what? Because they have said she's a tough woman. So what character trait is coming out from Nicole?
You could somewhere Seymour is arrogant when he says, I wish you could somehow grow from brain.
Yes, sarcastic.
But there's fear is peering in. He says, I share your fears. The number of people supporting her speaks volumes. The whole town was at standstill that day. She was in court. I have never seen anything like it before.
You are saying you do?
Fearful.
Fearful, but we can also do what? Before that fearful, Mosi, you can talk.
You can say that Moses is suspicious when you say that I have been suspecting all along that she's playing a power game.
we see that Seymour is corrupt. When he says, I suggest we make a last attempt to win her to our side. We can offer her a high office if that is what she's after. But there is a schema when he says, we just say we have had lengthy consultations as municipality leaders, and in appreciation of the influence she is currently wielding, we have decided she should be part of the municipal leadership. After all, she is best suited to provide directions of the Samaritan and the developments it has triggered in the municipality. From there, we shall let her tell us the leadership position she would like to have.